Okay, ladies, if you've ever uttered the words, "I am such a Carrie," in conversation with your girlfriends, then this next segment is for you. Sex and the City has not only taken over pop culture, but it's also either changed or reinforced the way many women see each other and themselves. Now, while this may seem like fun, it can also be a little bit dangerous. And here to help us dissect the Sex and the City conundrum is our own relationship go-to gal and author, Ranee Spina. Welcome.
Thanks, Holley.
Okay, so I think pretty much every woman in the United States saw Sex and the City, the movie. And most of us probably were watching the series before that went to see it.
Right.
So what kind of let's just start out with this. What kind of a perception have we gathered from that show in general about what women are supposed to be?
I think what happens, a lot of women, first of all, they try to peg themselves as one personality.
Right.
Oh, I'm so Charlotte. Oh, I'm so Carrie. Oh, do I really want to be Samantha? Do I want to be Miranda? And I think women, most of the time, are going to be a combination of the personalities instead of just one. They're fictional characters, and we have to remember that above all.
Yes, that right there, you just, in a nutshell, summed it up. Every woman seems to want to be Carrie or Charlotte.
Right.
Most women seem to not necessarily want to be Miranda or Samantha, and the ones who want to be Samantha, that's questionable. So I think, like you said, you kind of have to look at them as a whole. What about the relationships? Because they all seem to have these really different, interesting relationships on the show.
Right.
What are we taking away from that as women? What do we think we're supposed to be because of that?
Okay, since the movie just came out, and most women, that's the freshest in their mind.
Yeah.
Think about what the four characters went through in that movie. Let's take Carrie, for example, okay? She was living with Big, all right? And then all of a sudden, the topic of marriage came up. And what was the typical thing you heard from her was, oh, marriage is going to mess up everything that was perfect. Well, what was perfect? And if it was so perfect, then why were you afraid to take that leap and make that commitment?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because they were already living together.
They're already living together.
They're already. I guess we're supposed to believe that they were together for like 4 years, right?
And they're playing marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually are. The one really great thing that Miranda said in that movie, do you remember when she said, "Keep your own apartment, Carrie"?
Yes.
That was one of the most important things that women should take away from that movie. Because she was living with somebody else who owned property. It wasn't hers. It was his.
Right.
Keep your own space. Until that marriage, that commitment happens, when we have those bands of gold and those words holding us together.
Right. And she ended up having to buy back her apartment then in the film. And you're right, that really stuck out to me as well, because it seems like that's something that girls really do say to each other. That's one thing that was actually a little bit based in reality, is we encourage each other to keep our own property. So this whole living together thing, I mean, what is that really?
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work?
No, it doesn't work. It goes against what people say. I know you've had girlfriends say, oh, I have to try living with him to see if it will work.
Right.
But if you look at the statistics, okay, from the National Center for Health Statistics, 1 in 5 marriages will end in divorce within 5 years. Okay, that's 20%.
Right.
If you live together first, it goes to 50%.
That's so counterintuitive.
It gets worse. 1 in 3 marriages will end in divorce within 10 years. If you live together, 62% of you will divorce. So why, as human beings, we all think we can beat the odds.
Right.
You're not going to do it. Yeah, maybe 1 in 100, 2, 3 in 100, but most people will not beat the odds. So if you're going to do it right. Look what happened when Carrie and Big didn't do it right. Okay, they just kind of put it together. Oh, hey, you want to get married? Oh, yeah, let's get married. But then they said, hey, no, let's step back. Let's actually do the ring. Let's actually take the time to understand what we're about to do. The sad thing is she planned this big wedding, and he got his way.
Exactly. That's what I took away from it, too. At the end, I thought, you know what? This totally ended up in his favor.
But he had been married twice before.
Exactly. And he pointed that out to her.
That's right.
And that was maybe not something she had taken into consideration.
She should have married somebody else if she wanted somebody to want the big deal that was doing it for the first time.
Now, let me ask you this, because we're already running out of time, which makes me so sad. But the Miranda character is in the marriage in the film, and her marriage is the one that ends up troubled. But they didn't live together, did they? I can't remember the series. Miranda and Steve.
This is what married women should take away from that movie. A lot of times women try to have it all, right? You want the career, you want the children, you want the husband. Usually you can have 2 out of 3. When you're paying attention to the demands of work, the demands of your children, what's going to happen? You're going to stop caring about yourself. Remember the scene with the bathing suit?
Yep.
Okay. We all remember that scene?
Most memorable scene in the movie.
And she wasn't taking care of the nurturing of her relationship.
Wow. That it is, you know, it seems like it's all so common sense, but it really isn't for women. And I want to make sure that everybody knows Ranee is the author of I Am Before I Do, which is an incredible book that really has a lot of her greatest advice in it. Ranee, thanks for being with us today. Wish we had more time to talk.